Hello everyone, very good afternoon to all of you. Firstly, I want to thank everybody who's here in this room. Welcome, and we look forward to share with you on this topic of holistic F&B transformation. We are still waiting a few more guests to join us, and just give us another 2-3 minutes and we'll be running very shortly. Okay, thank you so much. My name is Joseph and I will be your host and MC for today. It's awesome. All right. Okay, lovely people, while we are waiting, there's a crowd in the room, but maybe I can just do this little exercise to make sure that our computer and things are working fine and well. For those of you who are here and running your business, can you just type into the chat box one major challenge you're facing for your business right now? All right, while we have the rest of the guests stream in, people are coming in and filling the room. Just give me an indication, one thing that you're facing right now in the chat box, so that will give a context for our speakers when they do the sharing later, okay? Jess, maybe you can start the ball rolling, Jess. Hi, Sylvia. Inventory, records. Okay, got it, Sylvia. Thank you so much. Inventory, high delivery charges. Yes. I kind of know what you mean. Generally, things are expensive, yeah. Things are expensive. I got it. Inventory will mean what? Keeping track of your records and first in, first out. Now, my experience with webinar and other Zoom meeting is people tend to be a little bit shy. All right, so a little bit of participation will be wonderful. Now, some little house rule. What you can do is when you have question for the speakers, you can just punch it into the chat box. Okay, or the Q&A poll segment if you want to, Q&A. And Q&A part we will be able to address later when we come in. So you can key into the Q&A part, all right? General interaction you can do into the chat box, all right? This webinar is been recorded for internal purpose, all right? So you'll be internally used for our personal review of how we do. Okay, and I have a lot of friends who are in the F&B line, and I understand things are not exactly the easiest right now, and that's why we got inspired to put together something to help all the F&B people, operators, businesses to kind of think out of the box to see what they can do to transform their business. Okay, and today we have lined up 3 excellent speakers who can share with us more details. Okay, more details. So if you are ready to go, punch into the chat box yes, and I will kick off the session. All right, give me a yes. If you are ready to go, give me a yes. Thank you so much. Okay, first, thank you so much. First off, it's my pleasure to invite CF from Dining Butler to start the session and to kick it off. He'll be sharing with us how you can digitize your F&B operation. I mean, seriously, operation is something that's not easy, and the more you can digitize or automate, the better it is for you as a business owner. Okay, so after CF, we'll be inviting Anderson to share on how you can digitize your F&B service training. Okay, so you automate this process. You can train your people without, in a digital way. And lastly, we'll be inviting Psv Academy to share with us how we can do the branding and digital marketing program for your F&B business. And guess what? It is fully subsidized. All right, fully subsidized. Number 1. Number 2, non-Singaporean can participate in it. And number 3, it's designed to help you get results. So that's going to be awesome. And what I'm going to do is right now, it's my pleasure to invite CF to introduce himself and his company. And to start the session, I will stop sharing screen from my end. And CF, over to you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Joseph. Hang on, just give me a quick moment. I will share my screen. Okay, so I hope you guys can see my screen here, right?
Oh yeah, very clear.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Hi, this is CF. I am the founder for Dining Butler. So, we founded this company somewhere. We founded this company in 2016, and since then, we have been developing F&B technology software. So, we have more than 300 F&B clients at the moment of time. That is pre-COVID, of course. And of course, being a F&B data company, we have a lot of data analytics points that we have that our F&B can actually use them for a meaningful business decision. So, and as part of the grant environment in Singapore, we are also a pre-approved PSG grant vendor as well. Yeah. So let's look at which are the part that we can digitalize in the F&B industry. So these are the 5 main pillars that we have identified and realized that if we digitalize these 5 main pillars, we can actually increase the potential earnings of an F&B a lot. So these 5 pillars are mainly the dine-in. So for dine-in, we have the contactless ordering, which is pretty much popular in the F&B sector nowadays, where diners will order through their mobile phones. We have reservations. The reservation module can also be through the diner's mobile phone as well. And of course, the takeout and delivery are 2 different sectors. So takeout is we have to go and pick up the food ourselves, whereby delivery is where the items get sent to us. And of course, with all these, we also have the backend and CRM module, where all your diners' data and habits and your inventory records and everything is being documented in a proper system. Okay, so how does it actually works? Is for Dining Butler, the digitalization is actually very easy. So the first step, just let me walk you through the diners journey here, right? Okay, so the first step, the diners, they order through their mobile phone. As you can see in step here, they order through in their mobile phone, and when they order in the phone, the orders get pumped into Dining Butler point of sales. So we are also able to integrate the entire software with external point of sales as well. So we have already done so with ePoint, EasyPOS, just to name a few. And of course, the orders get automatically sent straight to the kitchen, where your staff can start to do the preparation. And we also have a front counter display for the waiter as well, as you can see in step number 4. And last but not least, because the diners order on their phone, you are able to access all your diners' data at your backend management module here, step number 5, whereby you have the capability to know your customers' profile, what do they like to eat or not like to eat, how much they spend, what's their preference, any allergies. And through all these data collected, you're able to outreach and send and interact with your customers as and when you have promotions that you want them to know. So channels that you can outreach to them are like the SMS, push notification, and the EDM channels. And here is a print screen where you can see an example of how the outreach will be. So you can even see that the detail level that we go into, you can see here. You can see that, within 5 kilometers, I can outreach to 82 diners within my restaurant. So these are the kind of digitalization some F&B have been moving forward to. Okay, and also because of the implementation of Dining Butler in F&B, the resources are a lot better managed. So we have done a few surveys in the F&B restaurants that have been deployed with Dining Butler system. So we can see that most of them, they are able to save time and cost easily up to 20 minutes at any point of time. So we have omitted the redundant processes of such as bringing forward to and fro the menu, taking in the order manually, and running to the kitchen manually, settling the bill manually. So these processes are all being automated with Dining Butler, and which is why the productivity increase per manpower for F&B is quite a substantial difference before and after Dining Butler, as you can see in this flow chart here. Okay, so let's take a look at the case study. Well, we have deployed Dining Butler in this school called SJII, St. Joseph International Institute. So their school canteen is being run by this F&B operator called the Bliss Group. So Bliss Group is a social enterprise, and by saying that they are a social enterprise means they hire the less fortunate people, so such as people who are slower, people with special needs. So they hire this group of people to help out in their school canteen. And you know that being in a school during the recess time, you actually have like 1,000 students going into the school canteen at any point of time, and the queues can be very long. So before they adopt the usage of Dining Butler, the queues and all the processing time for a student to get to their lunch or breakfast item, it can be quite a process, because the queues are long and they have to manage one by one for the orders. So, and also there's a challenge of the communication error, because as I mentioned earlier, Bliss is a social enterprise. So being a social enterprise, the communication error are quite often. And of course, they were on full cash payment as well. That means when they make an order, they have to pay the money, and then they have to take back the change from the canteen vendor. So with Dining Butler implemented, in around 3 months' time, almost every student have been a Dining Butler customers. That means they have at least placed an order through Dining Butler system. Well, you have to eat, right, when you're in the school. That's why they have no choice but to use the Dining Butler software to place the order, and that actually speed up the ordering and the waiting time during recess time. All right, and because the orders are all digitalized and also sent straight to the canteen direct, the communication error have actually went down tremendously. There isn't much communication error after that as well. So you can see that this is the technology roadmap that we have for SJI. So they are using us for the kiosk and as well as the mobile app, and it gets sent straight to the kitchen after payment is made, and there is a receipt number to be called when the order is being ready. And on top of all this, we actually have an AWS server for this F&B, whereby the owner can access real-time data and reports any point of time, even when the owner is not in the premises itself. This is very important for the owner, because the owner, she actually runs a few different F&B other than SJII. But with the real-time data, she's able to know instantly what's going on there, and what are the resources that she has, and what are the help that her staff will need. And also her inventory and how's the operation there. Everything she knows at the tip of her fingertips by having the real-time data. So let's take a look at another case study. This popular restaurant called the Halia at Botanical Gardens. Botanical Gardens, the Halia, they always face this common issue of not enough staff during the peak hours. Well, simply because they are very popular with the tourists and the locals here. So previously, before using Dining Butler, they were on another cloud-based internet system. So them being in a national park, the internet wasn't so good, especially during raining days. So during raining days, the internet was often down, and they are not able to function properly during raining days. And because of that incident, not able to function properly during raining days, the orders will always mix up, and the orders are and the queues are very long sometimes. So this is before implementation of Dining Butler. So when they found out about Dining Butler, they actually switched over to us, and they encourage all their diners to use their mobile phones to start to place the ordering. and they have seen significant improvements for the order taking. And also the staff is actually, they place less staff per peak hour at the moment. So the staff, there's a staff savings them for the restaurant. Okay, and now each month they process more than 5,000 money transactions with the Dining Butler system. So this is the technology roadmap that we implement for Halia Garden. So by doing that, well, you can see that the backend CRM is still here. And what we implement is we implemented a hybrid model for Halia Garden. So they are able to function with or without internet. So with internet, everything gets synced up. The diner's phone gets syncs up with the POS, and also the backend and the CRM as well. But in the event if the internet is down due to the rain, or or maybe the router is spoiled or what, they are still able to function because we have an offline server that we have customized with security and firewall for them to implement their operations without being affected by external factors. So this has proven to be very successful for Halia Garden, because right now they are having near 100% uptime. So in fact, Halia Garden is so dependent on the system right now that it's so dependent on the diners ordering through their mobile phone that there was recently there was this incident whereby one of their screen was down, so the diner's phone wasn't able to function well. But they actually wanted us. They actually wanted the Dining Butler team to go down to rectify the problem within the same day, because they are so depending on the diners to order through their phone. So that becomes very useful for Halia Garden, especially they have collected a lot of diners' data now, given the fact that they are very reliant on the mobile ordering. So with this, there are 5 benefits that the F&B can actually benefit from the Dining Butler system. So very obviously, there's a less mistake because diners order through their phone right now. And also because of that, lesser manpower is needed. So we can say that there's a higher productivity per head count. That means one person can actually do function at a 1.2 or 1.3 times of their usual capabilities. And because of all the data that have been collected, the revenues can be increased by doing regular promotions and engagement with the diners. So when you engage with your diners more, they tend to come back more. And when they tend to come back more, of course, they are bound to spend more, which equates to higher profit for the F&B. All right. So, well, we are also PSG pre-approved, as I mentioned earlier. So these are the 3 packages that we have under the PSG pre-approved grant. So our packages are up to 80% pre-approved already right now. So it covers the whole Dining Butler system. Those modules that I mentioned earlier, most of them are being covered in the packages already. Okay. Yeah. So we also qualify for the DRB as part of the PSG pre-approved vendor. We are recognized under the DRB as well. Okay. So I've come to the end of my sharing. I have 2 other awesome friends here who will be sharing on their digitalization in the F&B industry. So next up, I would like to hand over the session to Anderson, whom he is the speaker for XpRienz. All right, over to you, Anderson. Thank you.
All right, thanks, CF. Okay, allow me to share my screen. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Anderson. I'm from XpRienz. For most of you, you probably know XpRienz as your food hygiene service training company. But over the past 1 year, we have been moving very much into the digitalization space. Okay, in fact, a couple of years ago, we also started developing our own restaurant management system. Of course, it didn't turn out well, all right, because we realized that developing a system is not just about computerization, right? Okay, it is really a whole set of know-how that you need to build within your staff Okay, and that is why instead of just developing systems, over the past year, we looked at how to prepare our clients for the digitalization age, right? And today I would like to share this program with you, okay? Learning how to leverage on technology, basically to optimize your business process. I think CF provided a very comprehensive and out-of-the-box kind of digital solution to support the F&B industry. But if you look at the whole digital transformation of a business, all right, in this context, if you look at F&B itself, there are actually various things that you first need to identify, put in place, okay, before even getting onto a solution. All right, 5 years ago or 10 years ago, there were no ready or out-of-the-box solutions. In fact, many restaurants actually customize their own solutions, and that's where problems, many problems actually arose. Okay, we were in those era whereby we actually customize restaurant management solutions for clients, and there were huge challenges, right? So if you look at if a company or business wants to embark on what I call the smart industry, okay, first you have to look at your process, all right, the technology that you want to use, as well as, very importantly, the organization. All right, so these are the 3 building blocks, okay, in a business when it comes to digitalizing. Now, under these 3 building blocks, there are actually 8 key pillars. All right, if you look at under the process pillars, right, we're talking about the operations. That means your day-to-day, step-by-step business operations. Supply chain, okay, how do you link up or sync up with your suppliers, right? Basically, your ingredient supplier, your equipment suppliers, as well as your consumable suppliers, right? And also your product life cycle, essentially your dishes, right? So these would involve the day-to-day processes, and I think it is very important to streamline these processes before embarking on a digital journey, right? Then comes the technology. Okay, what kind of automation are you looking at? Essentially, there are 2 families. They're talking about data management or material management, right? So data management will include processes, basically, right? How you digitalize those processes, how you manipulate those data. Okay, so things like Dining Butler actually automates the data management. Now, if you talk about the material management, that means how do you move your ingredients? How do you prepare, cook, clean, right? Clean, wash, prepare your ingredients. All these will involve material management, right? How about the supplies? Okay, how about your cooked dishes? All right, so there's another category of automation. Connectivity would be looking at how do you allow your not so smart equipment to talk to each other to become smarter. Okay, so that's connectivity. And of course, intelligence, right? Just now CF also mentioned that some of the clients, after they have collected a lot of data, they can use some of this data to make certain business decisions. That's called intelligence. If you look at the organization, right, very importantly, machines don't run on their own. All right, machines, systems don't function on their own. They function in accordance to the people who put them in place, and the people who manage them, and the people who utilize them, right? So that's talent readiness. Are the people ready? Are the people in the organization ready to manage the systems? Are the people in the organization ready to make changes to their processes to fit the system? Or very often you need to streamline your processes before you even embark on automation process, right? And also whether there are structures, okay, and management systems in place, right? Like for example, if you are going to reduce some of these staff, what does it mean to their job roles, for example? Okay, do you need to change them? Do you need to upgrade them, reskill them? Okay, and of course there are 16 dimensions, all right, pertaining to each of these pillars. There's vertical integration, horizontal integration, product integration as well, right? Workforce, learning and development, intra-company collaboration, things like that. So all these things have to be studied in a holistic fashion. Now, this is what we term as the Smart Industry Readiness Index. Okay, it is a system developed by EDP together with a German consulting company. All right, and we use it to help our clients understand at what stage of readiness are they in. All right, in order to adopt and implement certain solutions. Okay, so if you look at Dining Butler, right, was developed over many years of research and interaction with the industry. Okay, and KF and his team has been able to somehow pick up the best practices from industries and then digitalize them into a so-called close to out-of-the-box solution. All right. Now, that involves the vertical integration of the operations. Okay. But then, if you need to look at other integrations, okay, I think it is important for companies to start identifying what are those processes that you want to integrate. Okay, and this is where a study, right, of your whole business operations will be important, because you don't digitalize everything at the same time. Okay, you need to do them progressively. All right, and also because the people, right, involved in digitalization, some of them can't accept digitalization so rapidly. Okay, so talent readiness is important. All right, and of course, training, right, and training comes at different levels. Now, there's a whole range. Actually, there's a whole range of processes that can be digitalized. Okay, from front of the house, right, like for example, online food ordering, digital ordering, right, like what CF mentioned just now. Some aspects of digital payment, right, CRM. So there's a whole range of front of the house. There's also the front and back of house, okay, where these would involve allowing equipment to talk to each other, right, material management, okay, Internet of Things, enabled central kitchens. Like for example, because of the change in business model, some businesses with multiple brands are shifting, all right, ordering online, delivery to a cloud kitchen concept, all right, so as not to confuse with the dine-in processes, right? So those would involve a little bit more options for automation, and of course, if there's global level, right, there'll be a lot more things that can be automated. So if you look at all these, right, I think automation or digitalization helps to elevate both the skill sets and knowledge, inject technology into the F&B sector, which is always viewed as a very low-tech, not cool kind of a sector, and also cross-pollinate knowledge and skills. All right. So very often when it comes to digitalization or adoption of technology, right, people ask, what type of technology should the company adopt? All right, what kind of grants are there available? How do I introduce newly adopted technology to my organization? You can't introduce all at one go, right? So at what stages? How do you prioritize? How do you prepare the people? How do you prepare? How do you prevent data leaks? Okay, and also how to monitor, how to use some of these data to make decisions. So here, this is where I think training comes in. Okay, not only to prepare the technical people, but more so to prepare, all right, the general population in the organization. Okay, as well as of course the management. So we have a 2-day digitalized food services operations program. Okay. Whereby we cover things like identifying organizational needs and challenges, okay, explore the kind of grants that are available to help you offset a significant part of the cost, okay, identify the methods and steps to create a technology adoption roadmap, okay, so you don't just plunge into digitalization automation like that, right? You need to plan. Sometimes it can take anything from 6 to 12 months, okay, just to prepare and identify the processes. Sometimes you also need to streamline these processes before you bring in a solution, right? And then set the training plans, identify methods, and ensure the adopted technology aligns with your organizational goals. All right. So this is a program that we roll out with our F&B clients. The full fee is $500. Okay, with GST it becomes $535, and after subsidies, depending on the age group and things like that, it can be as low as just $85 per pax. All right. So we believe that training is a essential part of automation and digitalization. Okay, solutions are extremely important. Training is one component to enable the solution adoption to be successful. All right, and with this, I would like to hand the time to my fellow colleague Suresh. Suresh is from Psv Academy, and they have actually been approached by Enterprise Singapore during the COVID season, right, the lockdown season, right, to help F&B companies market their brand, right, into the market, right. So with that, I would like to invite Suresh. I'll stop my screen, and Suresh, please take over.
Thank you, Anderson. Give me a sec. Let me just share my screen. Okay. Thank you, Anderson. Thank you, CF, sharing more about the F&B industry, and I think how much potential there is within this sector. Myself, I'm Suresh. I'm actually from Psv Academy. I'm the assistant head of school for the School of Business Management, heading up the sales and marketing department. And I would like to share with you more about this program called the Professional Certificate in Digital Marketing, specifically designed for the F&B sector. So if I actually dive straight into it. Okay, so some of the areas that I'll actually cover today, I'll give you a brief introduction about Psv Academy. What is this program about? Some of the benefits that participants will actually get, who this is actually designed for, the course specifications, the eligibility, funding options, and how does somebody go about applying for this program if they are interested. And then if there's any questions, I can take that as well. So a bit about Psv Academy. We call ourselves the Future Academy. I think one thing with Psv Academy is that we have really moved from a training provider to the higher education space, but we've never lost touch with being industry relevant, being close to the industry, and knowing what is required for students and adults when they are looking to move from an academic pathway into their career. So in terms of our student population, we have a population of about 12,000 students. They span about 50 nationalities, but primarily they are still Singaporeans who are here, who are either doing full-time studies or part-time studies across different levels, whether it's a certificate, diploma, degree, short courses, as well as postgraduate programs as well. Okay, a little bit about our timeline. We were formed in 1964 as the National Productivity Centres under EDB. After that, we were actually corporatized in 2001. Then we were privatized in 2006. And in 2010, we actually were awarded the EduTrust certification. So with EduTrust, we can actually start offering higher education programs, both for local and for international students. And we were one of the first 5 private educators in Singapore to actually get this badge. We moved into 2 new campuses. If you know about Psv Academy, we were in Tiong Bahru for quite a bit of time. We moved out of there and we moved into our city campus in 2017. So this is a brand new campus in Marina Square itself. So we have 5 schools altogether. So the School of Foundational Studies, School of Postgraduate Studies, and School of Business Management, where I'm from. We are in the city campus in Marina Square. This is a 100,000 square foot campus, and it spans two levels. There are over 30 classrooms. We have 4 auditoriums, 2 of which are about 370 seaters and 2 are about 190 seaters. And then in 2018, we actually moved into the STEM campus. So the STEM campus, I think STEM education is something that's been growing quite a lot in the recent few years. So we actually have 2 of the schools, the School of Engineering and Technology, as well as School of Life and Physical Sciences, who are actually based at STEM campus. This campus is at Jackson Square, somewhere in Braddell, Toa Payoh itself. So these are some of our accolades. I think in 2019, we actually were awarded the Best Educational Institute by APAC Insider. I think something that we are quite proud of. In terms of STEM education, we also have the EC Council Best Academic Study Award, as well as for postgraduate, we have actually the largest MBA provider in Singapore. So some of the things that we do to remain relevant, to be close to industry, and I think the awards are something that actually have showed that we've been testament and doing this in the right way. Okay, maybe jumping into the program itself. So this program was actually designed specifically by Psv Academy for individuals within the F&B industry, food services, and F&B in general. The focus and the push for this was really that we understood during COVID, F&B as an industry was quite badly hit. I think one of the most severely hit industries. And Enterprise SG actually approached PSV to see if we can actually partner with them to develop something that is both industry relevant and help F&B chains stay relevant and still be able to continue their business with as little disruption as possible. I think F&B as an industry is a very people industry. It's very much about interacting with individuals, but when we actually have lockdowns, we can't actually do that. We aren't able to see people, we can't interact with the space. A key element is actually taken away, which is the service, not only the food. So what we want to do is we want to show how we can actually help F&B chains still be able to carry on their business and minimize their disruption with the use of technology and digital marketing to increase the visibility is something that was an area that we're looking to partner on and target very specifically. So there are 4 areas that we really were looking to build on, is really how to use digital marketing strategies to help F&Bs, help F&Bs understand and appreciate digital marketing techniques so that they could actually be more relevant or stay relevant within the industry, employ branding campaigns. I think because when you're looking at F&B, a lot of it is through word of mouth, and now you actually have a lot more on social media. But how can you actually increase that? And I think the last one, increasing your social presence, I think was also a very important part of the whole design of this program. So 3 of the key benefits that participants will actually get out of this: brand visibility, so that they can actually be more visible within an increasingly crowded, noisy, social and online environment, building the brand story, the customer journey, and the last one is definitely being able to justify the returns of investment. Okay, so who is this designed for? So industry will be food services, F&B, but it will be really anybody who's looking to pick up digital marketing skills and being able to draw relevance back to the F&B industry. Understand social platforms, digital platforms, so they can really help in terms of cutting through the noise and being one of the few that really can be seen. And another important thing is that for F&B chains, I think you have the very big ones who have a very dedicated digital marketing team. They actually have the tools, they have the resources to do this, but a lot of it is SMEs, and SMEs might not actually have the capabilities. Business owners who might be running their own little enterprises, they would actually feel the pinch more because now they can't meet their customers directly. How do they reach out to them? So this program is also designed to actually help these business owners, smaller players, be able to actually reach out to their target audience and cut through the clutter out there. Okay, the program is designed as a 22.5-hour program. Then there is a 1-day digital marketing campaign presentation. So I will actually go into a bit more about this in a bit. Because this is a digital marketing program, and due to the COVID lockdowns, we've actually done it as a 100% online program. So it will still allow students or participants to actually learn and do what they need to while actually practicing it on their computers and in the safety of their own homes as well. In terms of a qualification, once a student finishes this program, they will actually be conferred with a certificate of completion. This is actually offered by Psv Academy. In terms of class size, we are looking at anywhere between 8 to 20 students. The minimum, I think, is also to ensure that there is sufficient interaction. because everybody coming on this program, they will be F&B players themselves. And I think we want to hear what are some of the good practices, what we are doing, and how we can learn from each other. And in terms of a maximum, is because we want to ensure that every participant gets enough time with the trainer so that they actually get a chance to learn firsthand. So we don't want to have something that's a bit too big as well. Okay, here there's a lot of information, but I think what I will zone in on the ones that I've highlighted, the ones in yellow. So in terms of how digital marketing will help your business, as Anderson said, the adoption of digital platforms is something that is still quite, there's still quite a bit of resistance. Some people are skeptical, they don't know how to use it. So firstly, to help them understand why digital marketing in the first place and why use these platforms. Then the next thing is actually the marketing objectives, how it will actually help their business. Then the marketing funnel, awareness, consideration, conversion, how they move them, and how their campaigns have to be targeted at 3 of these areas instead of just doing something that maybe just is very much in terms of awareness or just about conversions where you want everything to come to business. You got to play the short game as well as the long game. Web analytics, how do you use the data that you're going to generate from the different platforms, analyze this data, and later turn this to business. So Google Analytics, the platform, this will be something the trainers will actually go in depth into. How do you read that data? How do you make decisions based on that data as well? Okay, the art of email marketing and landing pages. I think it's right now there's so many softwares out there that you can easily whip out a website, be able to actually have an online presence, but is it effective? Is it targeting the right people? Is it targeting at the right spaces? Are those people that are seeing, liking your ads, your posts, are they people who are actually your customers? I think that is going to be very important. Also, when you actually come out with landing pages and email designs, right, whether it's mobile responsive, because I think more than 70-80% of business is actually done on mobile right now. People are not using their computers as much, or they're really on the go all the time. So something being mobile responsive and having everything skewed into your phone where you actually can see everything in there, that is going to be very important because that's the customer experience. They don't want to be flipping left and right just to try and get to read 1 or 2 lines. So this will actually teach them how to do this effectively. And then social media, I think how effectively do we use Facebook, Instagram in terms of looking at these pages, setting up these pages, are they targeting the right people, creating the right kind of pages? All these little tips and tricks will actually be covered as part of this program. So a continuation, after that it's about monitoring. So once you actually have your pages up, the people who are liking it, what is the, how are they actually engaging with the space? What are they doing? What are they saying? And another key important thing is, what if you get negative feedback? I think when you have feedback face-to-face, you can address it. But what if somebody writes something on social media, on Facebook, that wasn't the best response for the experience or the food that they got? How do you address this? I think these things are important because it's a public platform. People are seeing it. Other people are going to have their own perceptions. They're going to have their own judgments based on that. How do you turn crisis actually into something positive? So these things will also be covered in there to actually help you even leverage more on the social media platforms. Google Display Networks. So you know how when you go, let's say you go on Lazada, you click on an item and it follows you everywhere. You're seeing banners everywhere. So Google Display Networks, those are advertising. How do you use them, put them in the right places to really help your business so that you are targeting in the right places to the right people? So these things will also be covered as part of the display marketing segment of the program. And this is the last one. So this is the digital marketing campaign presentation. So this is an optional presentation. So as part of this presentation, what actually happens is that students who go through the program, they cover the earlier segments that I covered, and this is an optional section. So for those who actually run this campaign at the end, there is a benefit, which I will actually cover later, but this is a one-to-one session between the trainer and the participants themselves. So even though we put it down as a 1-hour session, we see that the trainers are more than willing to work with the participants, help them along, give them the feedback they need in terms of their campaign, how the campaign is actually shaping out, is everything presented well in there, how effective is the campaign. All these things will actually be done one-to-one by the trainers for the participants. Okay, so the next thing, entry requirements and who is eligible. There is no entry requirement. What we would recommend is basic computer literacy. I think that would help. You don't need to be a digital marketing expert or have extensive knowledge of how the digital marketing world works. This is actually designed for everybody to come in, learn the basics, and be able to run something that is an effective campaign for their organization. So you would actually see that company-sponsored individuals, they don't have to just be Singaporeans. They can be PR, they can be foreigner work pass holders, but they have to sign up with the company. Then, of course, they are self-funded. Anybody who is interested or is thinking in the future, I would like to run my own F&B chain and want to pick up the skills and knowledge in the digital space, this program is actually a good one for them to pick up as well. Okay, a lot of information here. Maybe the things I can really show you. The course fee is 1,712. It is 90% funded by Enterprise SG. So after that 90% funding, $160 before GST with the GST included. So that's how $272 is derived. For any individual who is looking to actually offering 10% of the funding. That means we will actually cover the remaining amount that you will actually get this $272 back as reimbursement. Questions have been asked, can it just be waived off from the start? Unfortunately, no. The reason for that is Enterprise SG wants to know that which are the companies, which are the F&B outlets or organizations that have signed up. So once an F&B chain or organization signs up, within 30 days, we will refund you back. And the refund will come from Psv, which is a lot faster than going through the government route. The 90% funding automatically taken off, and this 272 we will actually reimburse you immediately within a month. The number of people who can go for this program, up to 2 staff can be sent from each organization and still be getting the 90%. To be, again, they do not need to be digital marketing trained or digital marketing individuals within the companies. You could actually be somebody who is on the ground doing the work in F&B. You could be the business owner. You could be from the corporate side, looking to pick up the skills and actually helping your organization as well. And previously, I was telling you guys about the digital marketing campaign. So once you finish that campaign and you launch it, again, this is optional. We will give you an additional $500 as a completion bonus. So if an organization sends two staff, you will only be eligible for 1 campaign because each company can only submit 1 campaign. But basically, you'll get the program free after the reimbursement from PSB and the $500, which will actually be given by Enterprise SG, paid for by PSB at the start. So again, the claim process is much faster, much simpler. There isn't a lot of hassle. It's really about us trying to help F&B outlets to see how we can actually help you in your digital transformation journey. So a little bit more information here. I think in terms of the attendance, we would actually be requiring at least 75% attendance for the program itself to be eligible for the funding as well as a $500 completion bonus. Just to note, when you actually do the digital marketing campaign itself, the cost of the campaign in terms of buying any stock images, buying, setting up websites or buying any other platforms, that will be borne by the organization itself, but that cost is still well within $500. So that should be not an issue in terms of what you're going to come out with. You're going to make money taking up this program and being able to pick up the right skills coming through for this. Okay, how does somebody go about applying for this program? There is no application fee. All you need to do is actually go through a link which we can share with you. It will be an online application form. So once you click on that link, you would go in and it will just ask you for some of your information and the key details that you need to put through: your UEN number, SSIC, your Accra business profile. If you have any questions or would like to speak to one of my teammates to actually apply for this program, my colleague Quinn, she's actually in this session as well. You can email her or you can reach out to her in a direct line. She'll be able to advise you, tell you if your organization qualifies, then you can actually put in the application to actually go on to this program itself. We are planning to have this program sometime probably in December. So in terms of the dates, we can actually advise you, but I think the first thing is that if you are interested, the best thing you could do is reach out to us, let us know you're looking at taking up this program, checking your eligibility, making sure everything is covered, then we can just let you know the dates and how this is actually going to be delivered. Okay, I've come to the end of my presentation. Maybe I will hold off this Q&A because maybe we can do a collective Q&A as well. So Joseph, maybe I can pass it back to you at this point.
I think it's okay. You can leave this screen on Q&A.
Okay.
You can leave the screen on. So we are doing the Q&A part. Hi people, I have just looked at the Q&A segment. There is no question posed yet. So we have just had a lovely sharing by three experts in this area. We are here to help you transform your F&B business. Please, this is the time to ask questions and to see what are the things that they can help you with. If it's easier to type in the chat box, do it. If not, can you do it into the Q&A box? If any of you want to verbally ask, right, you can raise your hand and we can, I think, unmute you. You can address the question to any of the speakers. Personally, myself, I've been through some of this digital marketing program, and I kind of like what PSB is doing. Is quite interesting. At 0%, kind of $0 down. Okay, okay. Somebody asked Suresh, how many batches of this program you expect to run, assuming you cannot send for the first batch? Okay, so yep.
Yeah, maybe I can help with that question. So we have been running this for 5 batches now. The response has been very positive. I think the trainers themselves, they are digital marketing professionals, contextualize the program for F&B outlets itself. We are running this till the end of this year. We have a timeline that we're working with Enterprise SG, and once it comes to the end of the year, we won't be able to extend it. That's one thing. So if anybody is interested, I think it would be good if you can actually express your interest and let us know, so we can actually get people to come onto the program. Getting about 8 to 12, even up to 15 students would not be a challenge from what we've seen. It's really about getting your individuals, whether it's 1 or 2 people you want in your company, to actually come on board, which is actually very easily done. Yeah.
So what is UEN and SSIC code? Sure.
Okay. So I think this information, right? Every organization, when you actually register your company, you will have this information. You can actually go to your HR person. If you're the business owner, you would definitely have this information itself. If you need to find out how to actually get this information, you can drop us an email. We can actually direct you on how you can actually, or where to go and find this information.
Maybe I can add in, UEN is simply your company business registration number. It's like your NRIC number, and the SSIC code, right? If you register a company, you got to say which industry you're from, so you'll be in your ACRA, your ROC, your ACRA printout. Okay, I hope this answers your question. And Jessica, you have a question: what if there's a power trip, will the business be affected? I am trying to reference that. Is it linked to CF? Power trip, I mean, if they're using the dining butler system and there's a power trip, will the business be affected? CF, over to you.
Yeah, I think it's an A. Yeah, so yes, if there's a power trip, the business will be affected because there's no power, we cannot function anything. So some F&B, they actually have this additional device called the UPS, uninterrupted power supply, which acts as a backup just in case the main circuits get shocked by lightning or whatsoever. Yeah. So that is something that we have implemented before.
Got it. Ladies and gentlemen, any more questions, please keep it coming in. Thank you so much. We are doing our best to answer you as concisely and quickly as we can. There are quite a lot of you in the room, so please do so.
Jessica has raised her hand.
Okay, Jessica, is it? Jeff or somebody, can you unmute her? Hang on. Jess, you want to talk, is it? Give me a second, Jess. I'm not the host now. Hang on. Okay, Jess. Okay, I send you the ask to unmute. You can unmute and talk.
The question has been answered.
Okay, thank you so much. Anyone else, you can raise hand and ask question. Okay, I can throw something to the panel. To the panel, I think we got 3 different experts in 3 different spaces here. Beside your sharing, I would like to invite each of you to share 1 key things that will help them in their business. Okay, so as a kind of giveaway and help for them. Hang on a second, there's one more question that popped in. Maybe we'll answer the question first. PSP program, will there be funding support for aspiring F&B entrepreneur? Aspiring means you haven't started, right? So Suresh, over to you.
I think if it's aspiring, we recommend you start the F&B chain first. Unfortunately, we have asked this question. I think it is an important thing. If you are looking to go in the industry, we have asked Enterprise SG, are we open to fund them? Unfortunately, they say that they must be a registered organization to leverage on this fund. Yeah.
Got it. So 3, each of you share 1 thing that will impact their business from your area of experience. Anderson, you want to start first? Anderson?
I think if for F&B sector, okay, if the F&B company or F&B business wants to digitalize their operations, the most important thing is not immediately, engage a consultant to do it. I think very importantly, it is important for the organization to sit down and look at what aspect of the processes, okay, that the company wants to digitalize, all right, and if so, how can the processes be further streamlined? I think this is extremely important. We have seen a number of cases, all right, whereby companies just jump into digitalization, regardless of whether is it F&B, okay, it could be logistics, it could be manufacturing, right, and of course F&B, even training in our space, in our training space, okay, and then they immediately plunge, all right, into the digitalization process. You see, digitalization only makes you work faster, right? Okay, which means that if there are unproductive steps and you digitalize those, number 1, it's going to be very difficult, very costly. Number 2, it will just make your unproductive steps multiply many times. Okay, so it is important to look at building up that capability to analyze your own business process. Right? So this is where I'd like to share that building internal capability is important when it comes to digitalization.
Got it. So review your processes first before you go and streamline. Otherwise, you'll be streamlining the wrong things. Now, the maybe the proverb is this: if you are heading in the wrong direction and you run very fast, you will only reach the wrong destination faster. Okay, so make sure your direction is correct first. All right, Suresh, any wise word from you? 1 tip for the gang.
I think in a highly digital space right now, when you see so many providers like Foodpanda, GrabFood, that's a simple way. I think you can just put your whatever you offer in terms of your food, your drinks out there. But I think the key takeaway is that you will still be one of many. You will not stand out. And even when people go on social media, have Instagram accounts, they put everything there. People like, people share, but the thing is, how does it translate? I think it's important that when we have these platforms, that we know how to utilize them and optimize them. I think engaging or working with all three of our partners here will give them a benefit on a different area. And I think for the digital marketing program, the one that we offer, we're really trying to see how, we know the industry is very badly hit. We want to see how we can minimize the impact. It's not going to take it away. But the thing is, when COVID ends eventually, our habits will stay. People will still use online platforms, and why not be ready now? I think that's really the main thing from my side.
Be ready for the upswing. They are saying it is potentially a hockey stick. So looking at things, right, we're at almost at the bottom. So if you draw a hockey stick, it's going to be boom time soon. So hang in there, people. Don't give up. Better times are coming. CF, over to you for one word of wisdom and tip for the people here. Thank you.
Thanks, Joseph. One word.
One idea. Yes, very analytical and precise.
Okay. Well, I will just sum it up by a sentence. Most probably. Maybe just do it, lor. Just do it, lor. Because many times we are like very afraid of change, especially when it comes to digitalization. It's like, wow, that's a big word. A lot of jargons around. And people are not very used to change. But I thought that digitalization is a good change. Now is the best time to change, especially with the government. They've been giving us a lot of incentives and a lot of good reasons why we should change. And the question now is, why are we not changing? So I thought, just change on, because we really got nothing to lose, And if we change, we can actually see it for the better. There are a lot more on the upside versus if we don't change. Yeah.
Got it. Words of wisdom, manage change, and change will always be here. We must always be ready, and the one who adapt fastest win. There is a proverb actually, in today's era, the one who is most adaptable is the species that will survive, all right? Right? Adaptability is the number one thing, so be adaptable. All right, CF, very good that we have you. There's an anonymous question. There's a question for you. For Dining Butler, are there different server sizes based on the F&B business size? Does it mean if there are several outlets, you need one server per outlet? Okay, over to you, CF.
Okay, so it really depends on the operation and what you want from the F&B. But just being very open here, the answer is yes to your question, especially if you are talking about multiple locations. Yeah. So there are some F&B who have done with and without the server as well. So if they don't have the server, they can just use our AWS server. So it will just be a full cloud-based system. Yeah, but what we usually recommend is the hybrid combination. So the hybrid combination is good because it allows 100% uptime even with or without internet.
Got it.
Yeah, it's kind of a tacky here.
Awesome reply. Thank you so much. And I am again reminding the participant, thank you so much for being here with us. We want to hear your feedback. The Google link that you see, right? Click on it. It will take you just 1 minute, but it will allow us to know you better, your needs, so that CF, Suresh, Anderson, they can personally get in touch with you if there are questions you have about their areas of digitization. All right, so please click on that Google form, give us some feedback so that we can improve as well. All right. Wow. Anyone, just curious, anyone looking to franchise your F&B business here? Franchise it. If you are, type in yes, or type in franchise. if you're looking to brand or activate your brand for F&B business, type in brand. Okay. If you don't type anything, it means you need both. No lah. Okay, good. So we are tracking the Google form, and from what I see, there is no more question coming in for the Q&A. Any last question, please key into the system right now so that we can assist you. Lovely people, any question? Okay, if not, on behalf of our speakers, I want to thank them for their time. I want to thank every one of you sitting in today for your time. Okay, now you might have people who are interested in F&B. You might be in F&B business and you know of friends who will benefit from this. Please reach out to us. You got an email from us today. Reply to the email. Let us know if you need help or other things that you need. Just shout out. We will do our best for you. Okay. We'll do our best for you. And on this note, I want to thank everybody for your time, for your participation. I trust that going forward, things are going to get better for all of us. Hang in there. After the rainstorm, there'll always be sunshine. In business, we always have up and down. Never ever give up. Repivot, change, readjust, transform if you need to, but never give up your dream. Never give up fighting. Okay. So. Thank you so much, everyone. I will say bye-bye for now, together with our panel speaker. Thank you so much.